Hi everyone, I'm Shah back with another interesting video on creating a Power App that looks like ChatGPT and DallE. Also, it can do the functionalities of ChatGPT and DallE. This has been developed with the help of OpenAI's APIs. So this is a simple home page, but there is two key features of chatbot and image generator. So I'm going to AI chat. As I said, this is integrated with OpenAI APIs. And then let's see, write Python code to read from Excel and write to PDF. So I'm just entering this and submit. The request goes to OpenAI and then we get the response. So here is the output file. Here's the question and the answer. So let me write a story about talking pen. So all the responses are available in this. So here is a story about talking pen, and here is the previous question. So this way we can have multiple things reset, and I can go home, and then this is AI image. So here use your creativity to get an image. Let's say that cow riding bike. So now it's going to generate the images. I have given a maximum of generation of 3 images. So now we are going to see from scratch how to develop something like this. So this helps you to integrate your OpenAI AI models directly in your Power Apps or in Power Platform, because this can be used in Power Apps, Power Automate, with the help of custom connectors. So let's see how to implement this. So here you can see that cow riding bike. So this has been a AI generated image. So interesting thing. So let's go ahead without delay. So before that, what are the prerequisites? The first prerequisite is you should have an OpenAI account. It can be personal account as well, and you need to generate the OpenAI API keys for it. And then you should keep the documentation handy, and you should it's better if you have chat gpt already tried, and then DallE already tried. So labs.openai.com with your OpenAI, you can go here, and if you type something, then it will give an image. So now we are going to implement this functionality of ChatGPT and DallE to get the outputs in Power Platform. So let's go ahead and have a look. So first thing is you need to create a custom connector for OpenAI. So there may be chances that there's already OpenAI connectors in the list of Power Automate connectors, but it may be it may be not the official one yet. So for that reason, you can create custom connectors. So how to create custom connectors? You go to more, and then you discover all, because this is a new screen. You can go to data, and there is custom connectors. Click on custom connectors, and instead of because there are too many APIs which we need to integrate, models, completion, images, files, fine tuning. There are many APIs. It becomes harder to manually go ahead and create each connector definition or each API definition in this connector. So instead of that, the easiest way is search if there is any Postman thing. So I'm seeing that OpenAI Postman collection. So here there is some OpenAI Postman connection. Let me see that. Yeah, here it is. So I go ahead and then I export this. Look for the documentation, so you can download this export. So there is a OpenAI Postman collection. So this may be having everything: models, completion, chat, files, every other API which we need to use is already available. So now you can use that directly to create the connector. So I'm creating the connection here, import connector here with the help of import a Postman collection. So I clicked on Postman connection. Let's say that this is OpenAI and import the file. So I'm downloading that and selecting that. So now you can use any image, and here is the base URL. The first thing is there may be some errors, whichever the collection you bring, there may be some errors. So to overcome those errors, the simplest and easiest way is to go to Swagger editor. You don't have to know much. Here you can see the error, and you can see where the error is. So base URL. So what is the base URL here? So I go to documentation and I go to introduction. What is the base URL? The base URL is this api.openai.com. So I go here and then change the base URL, and then for everything base path. So the base path as per the documentation is v1. So let me go ahead and go to v1. So this is one. So now you see error on 186. So there is an error on 186. So primarily slash models, equivalent paths are not allowed. I did some googling and found out that there are two endpoints with slash models. So we should not have two endpoints with slash model slash parameter. So I am going to remove this part till here. Make sure that you don't remove the next one. Uh, so I removed this, and now your connector is ready. So there are no more errors. So I can go to next security part. So I'm going to security part. There are two ways of doing the security here. One, primarily, there are two ways of setting up the headers for Open API key. One is first thing, you can select API key here and then give some label, for example, API key. And then what is the parameter? It's authorization. You go to documentation, and here you see that authorization is the key thing. So I go to this and say authorization in the header. So now you can go to next step. Before doing that, so what happens in this case is you are creating the custom connector, and when you give API key and define it this way, then every person who is the end user using your app, for example, I build an Power App on top of this custom connector, then every user, when they first open the app, as you know that the permissions will be popped up where it says allow or don't allow. So here it is going to ask for a API key. So if you want every end user to enter the API key of their own, then do this method. But if you don't want, like in my case, maybe I don't want my users to enter the API key. I want to have my own API key from my developer account, and my users don't want to enter it. So in that case, select here no authentication and go to definitions. So there are already definitions because this has been imported from Postman. There are already definitions. There are 26 definitions. There seems to be an error in this definition. Uh, okay, operation ID cannot contain special character. So there is some special character here. So this is the one. It should not have comma. So I'm just changing it to dot. So there, that issue is hopefully resolved. Yeah, that issue is resolved. So like this, if you are importing any Postman collection, there may be smallest issues which you should be able to easily resolve. So now because you have not set the API key yet at the security part, what you can do is you can create a policy. So this policy, let's say auth, this is just the name, so I'm giving name, and template is set HTTP header. So I wanted to set the authorization, so I'm going to operations, and to which definition you need to give. So I need to give this to every definition. So I'm going and selecting everything. If you want to give only to few things, then you can also do this. So this custom connector, bringing it from Postman, this is same for every other scenario. It's not just for OpenAI. If you are doing the custom connectors creation from Postman, this is the similar method. So all the definition, I want this policy to be set. If you want specific, you can also do that. So now everything is selected. So the header name is definitely authorization. So API reference authorization, and here is the authorization name and the value. So the value is API key. So this API key create new. I'm going to delete this, so don't worry about that API key. So here is the API key, but before that, what we need to do is it should be having bearer. So here it says that bearer API key. So first let me paste this, and then it should be having a bearer space API key. So I'm here and I'm giving here bearer space API key and overwrite and run policy during request. So now what it does is it created. So let me create this connector. So a connector OpenAI has been will be created, and that is imported from Postman. There may be small issues, whatever the Postman collection you have, thus you can Google it and solve it. So in the first step is Swagger editor. If there are any errors, you can solve them. So once this is done, the first thing is you need to test it before you go ahead and create the PowerApp or Power Automate. So to test that, you need to create a new connection. So click on new connection and then click on create. This is going to create a new connection for you. So a new connection is done. So I'm going back to my custom connectors. And this connector is created. I'm going to edit. And I'm going to go to my test tab. I'm not going for code. I don't want that. And here you see that connection created. And first one is list models. It doesn't have any inputs. It will get the list of models from OpenAI. So let me see. Okay, it's 200. And then we got the list of models, which is Babbage, DaVinci, every other GPT 3.5 Turbo, which is a new one. ChatGPT uses this. So GPT 3.5 Turbo. So like this, you can use any of the model which you want to use it. So now we have everything ready. You can test all of this, but I don't want to test because now it's already there. So my connector is ready. So the next part is you need to go ahead and create an app, and that app should connect to this custom connector. So let me update this connector and go to apps. So I'm in apps and I'm going to create a new canvas app, and let's call it as OpenAI Chat GPT and DallE PowerApp, and this is a tablet mode. So it's creating the app. Once we create, the first thing is connect to your custom connector. And the benefit of having this as custom connectors is you can use any of the endpoints which we have in definitions in PowerApps, or you can use this directly into Power Automate. The other way of doing that is directly you can use them as HTTP connections. Like you can make a HTTP request either in Power Automate to this OpenAI by passing the header and body into it. So that is okay, but then it's better to have a custom connector. Hopefully OpenAI will be coming up with a Power Platform connector, official connector soon. At that point we can directly use it and we just need to give a API key. But however the procedure is same, and the usage will be mostly the same way. I guess it's taking more than expected time, so let me reload this. Yeah, now our Power App is ready. So I'm going to data, and then I'm going to say here Open AI, which is my connector. So here is my connector. So it is a premium one. Obviously custom connectors are premium, and then once you add it to your app, then it becomes a premium app. So your connector is connected. So let's say that I am going to insert two buttons. Image generator, and then the second one is AI chatbot. So these are the two things, and I'm going to create two new screens. So new screen templates, let's say screen 1, and templates screen 3. So screen 2, let's say this is AI chatbot, and then I don't want this canvas. Let me delete this canvas. And this is AI image generator. So now how to use this? So first thing is, let me quickly drag some text labels and text boxes. So text input. So there is a text input, and I need a button here. So let me bring this button. And let me drag another input box, but this is primarily the response. So let's say that I don't want the default value, and here also I don't want the default value, and here I want this to be in view mode or disabled mode, and here it should be multi-line because my output has multi-lines. So once I submit, then I need to actually get the data into it. So let's create a variable and set the variable. So once I get into the screen, maybe I need to have a variable. Let's say that set var response. So there is a var response which I want to set it. So here on button click on select, what I need to do is I need to call OpenAI. So I'm going to call OpenAI dot. So you should have some idea about what each endpoint does. So for me, when I go to API document references, completions is the API basically which gives the answer. So you have some questions, say this is a test, and this is indeed a test is the response. So you need to pass few things like what is the prompt, what is the model, what is the maximum number of tokens, what is the temperature, and how many number of repetitions or outcomes you need. So all these details you need to pass. Let's see how to pass that from PowerApp. So this one is called completion. So I am typing create completion, and then here it says, okay, you need parenthesis and then model. So what is the model name you want to? There are many models in this. As you can see from models, there are many models here. So I am going to use, DaVinci 003. So this is the model I wanted to use. So I'm go here. That is one of the powerful model. So I typed it here. So let me keep it in quotes. And the next one is prompt. Prompt is your question basically. So prompt is my text input, which is my text input one dot text. So that is where I have my text. The next one is max tokens. Max tokens is, you can consider it as maximum number of words you need to get as outcome. Let me keep it 100 for now. At 500 results. So you have maximum tokens, and then if you want temperature, creativity, and these are some of the uh, things which you need to know. So I'm closing this max. You can give more parameters as well. I guess this is good enough for now. And what is this going to do? I'm going to set this into var response, and I am setting this into var response. And so primarily it's going to, what it is going to do is it's going to get an array of outcomes. So let me see the sample. So here when you say completions, the response looks like this. So it gets choices, and in this choices you have text. So if you say more than n1, if you say 2, 3, then it is going to get you number of choices, text 1, text 2. So but I need choices first text. So what I can do here is I'm going to set the first text which I get from the choices in var response. So I'm going to say first, and in this choices dot choices, and then dot text. So this is going to give me the outcome of what is exactly the result is. So setting this variable, and then this variable will be my input to this item. So var response. So var response is my primary outcome of the question which I ask. So let me save this, and let me go ahead and run this. Here let me quickly navigate to my screen 2, and same thing, navigate here to screen 3. I'm saving this. Let me play it. So with this, the easy way is you already, um, so now this is AI chatbot, and then let me say write a animation movie story. So I'm submitting this. So once I submit the request, basically it's connected to custom connector. So the request goes there, and then you will get the output. So once upon a time, there was a small village in the middle of the, so the response has been given by it. So now it is up to your imagination, or up to your development skills, if you want to make this much more interactive, like how it looks in ChatGPT. So add some cool graphics, and also manipulate the text outcomes so that you can format it well with question and answer format. And then next thing is, let's jump to the next topic of AI generation, image generator. So I'm going to generate an image. For that, what I need is, again, I need same text box, and this. So I'm going here. I'm putting this. Let me keep this here above. And then I wanted a gallery. So I can have a gallery. Let me say I need a gallery, and this gallery is, so what is the input of this gallery? The input of this gallery will be here what uh, let's say that I'm going to type here, and then we are going to get some outcome here. So for that, first let's create this. When I submit it, so this is text 1 so when I submit it, I need to create an image. So when I click it, it should be OpenAI dot create images. Let me type image. So create image, and here first prompt. So prompt is primarily my text input, one dot text, and then the size, n is size. um, Size is primarily, if you want 3 images you can say 3, if you need 2 images you'll say 2. So at this point let me give it 2 and then closing it. So okay, now this is on tooltips, my bad, it should not be in tooltips, it should be in on select. So here on select, so on select there is a variable, so let's say where image response, and I can say that replace this with, and then here it should be data, and from the data it should be, let's say, let's create this way. So there is where image response. This image response will have the OpenAI image related information. So primarily look at the documentation, and if you want images, then go to images. What it is going to give is it's going to give output as data URLs. So primarily once you send the um, prompt and size, okay, I need to, I forget to mention the size as well, so I need to give the size. So I'm going to give my size here, so comma, there is a size, and which is, let's say, 512. Let's say size is, I don't want that big images, so let's say 512 into 512. So now it's going to give that size of images. So now here once we have this, then you can say um, say let me get the data of this. Okay, and then here I'm going to get data, and here let's say the items, and items will be where image response. So where image response, and then here if you go title, subtitle, how to check, so here I can, so URL, and I don't want subtitle, I will delete this, I don't want this. So an image, and image also I will be giving the URL, so this item dot URL. So let's see. So primarily, how do I know all those things is through API outcome. So here there is data, and inside data there are URLs, and that's how I'm manipulating here. So I created a gallery, and inside that gallery I have given URLs. And how is that happening? I'm setting a variable where create image will return me the data which has URLs. So let's save this. And let's run this. So let's say that Indian kid oil paint. So I submitted it. So let's wait and see the outcome of AI. Because it is image, it may take a bit of time. So here is the URLs. So if you want to copy the whole URL, because it's now overflow is off. So here is the Indian kid oil paint. So now let's make little changes here. I don't want, so let's say title, it should be little length here, and then I want it to overflow is scroll, so that at least we know that there is something. And then if I say that now the size is 3, let's say the size is 3, so let's see what happens when the size is 3. Save it and then run this. Indian couple oil paint. So submit. I'm expecting 3 images with URLs. Yeah, there are 3 images and URL. So basically, if you want to copy paste this, you can copy paste this into a new window, and then you should be able to see that image where you can save it. So this way you can easily create an app. So let's say that if you want to use this in Power Automate, yeah, you can go to Power Automate, make.powerautomate.com. So primarily you are going to create a new flow. I am going to create an instant cloud flow. OpenAI test. So here new step, and then let's say custom connector. This is my custom connector, which is OpenAI, and I select this, and here you see all this because it's a premium connector, it gets it. So I want models to be models list models, so I don't have to give any input. There seems to be some error which I need to take a look, but primarily this is simple, straightforward. Once you have it, you select that, and then you should be able to get the details. Let me try retry model. Okay, everything seems to have some error. I'll have a look at it later, but this is how you are going to create it. The other easiest way is that you can also have a HTTP request call from Power Automate, and once you have that set, then you should also be able to run it through Power Automate. That's through HTTP request. Again, it becomes a premium connector if you are using HTTP requests. I'll look into this 409 error, but it should be pretty straightforward to use it. If you have any questions, do let me know in the chat window, and then you can follow me on LinkedIn, and on my website you can reach out to me, shahenshaw.com. Thanks everyone. Have a good day.